In the earliest days of civilization, survival was everything. But as people built settlements, something greater took shape: the need to exchange, to connect, to prosper. This was the birth of trade, and it would change the course of history. But how did people trade before money? And how did simple exchanges evolve into vast networks that shaped entire civilizations? In the first cities, people produced more than they needed. Farmers harvested grain, artisans crafted tools. With surplus came the need for exchange. A jar of oil for a sack of barley, a copper blade for a bundle of cloth. This was the first form of trade. But bartering had its limits. Not everyone needed what the other had to offer. To solve this, early civilizations found new ways to measure value. Before coins, value was measured in different ways. In Mesopotamia, silver became a standard of trade. In Egypt, grain stored in temples was as valuable as gold. In some places, cattle and textiles held more worth than any precious metal. With value came records. Merchants began keeping track of deals, ensuring fair exchange. The first financial agreements were born. Trade was more than an exchange. It was power. In Mesopotamia, temples controlled vast storehouses of grain, wool, and silver. Priests managed supplies, distributing goods to workers and officials. But as cities expanded, commerce moved beyond temple walls. Marketplaces formed, and a new class of traders emerged. Men who traveled beyond their homeland, seeking riches in distant lands. As trade expanded, so did connections. The first trade routes stretched across deserts and seas, linking civilizations thousands of miles apart. Mesopotamian merchants traveled to Egypt and the Indus Valley, carrying spices, gold, and textiles. Every journey was a risk, but the rewards were immense. Trade created wealth, but it also created power. Merchants became some of the richest men in society, rivaling even the kings and priests. But with wealth came inequality. While some grew rich, others struggled under the weight of debt and competition. The first merchants, the first markets, the first trade routes, these were the foundations of the world we know today. From the earliest barter systems to the great empires built on commerce, trade shaped civilization itself. And soon, the need for fairness would extend beyond the marketplace. Laws would be written, laws that would define the fate of kingdoms. Join us next time as we uncover the birth of the most famous legal code in history, Hammurabi's Code. Want to uncover more lost civilizations and ancient trade networks? Subscribe for more cinematic journeys through history.